I prefer to think of it as life is pain, and pain is life.
We got a tip from one of my best friends, Mickey Weiss. He actually he had heard about him for about 5 years before I did, and we decided to go check him out. We heard they're pretty hot stuff on the new rack. The kids were all going crazy about him, just fucking head over heels, bollocks, really. We got to the establishment. I was quite shocked, taken aback. I was ready to see more of a venue, not a concrete factory. Billows of smoke were pouring out of the front doors. As we later found out, a horrible flare accident had occurred, and one of their pyros had gone haywire and burnt a small child in the face. When we got there, it was already in progress, as I mentioned. So I didn't really get to see the opening, which I heard was fabulous, that they had came out covered in spiders. Cholera was, just fabulous on stage. I mean, you got to remember that, this is a time when pretty much the most music we had was like tin cans. That's what it sounded like, just people banging tin cans together. It was just awful. It's not worth anything. You can't sell that. You can't sell that kind of stuff. You can't sign it, more importantly, which is what I do. Their instruments would just fall apart in their hands. It's like they just disintegrate. I mean, that's unheard of in the music industry. The band comes out and they play. They push a big iron vat right into the center of the stage, and she gets into it, and as the drummer's going crazy on the drums, and you got this mad guitar on the background, right, and they start pouring in concrete. We're all thinking, what the hell's this girl doing? She's out of her mind. They just keep playing, and eventually, of course, as all concrete does, it dries. They play for about another hour. She's just deadlocked in stage, sweat running everywhere. You can see a big wet spot on the concrete. She could have urinated there, actually. But they finally get to their hit, the one that, I was told about. Weiss told me about it. It's called Count Drac. He said, Donnie fella, you have to hear this song. Sure enough, it gets to the guitar solo. And all of a sudden, this guy's riffing through a shred and resonates throughout the entire infrastructure of the building until the concrete bursts from her feet out into the crowd and just cuts through several of the front members, actually. And it's absolutely amazing.
I guess the first time I ever saw The Plague perform was down in Snyderville at a little venue called the Shackled Pasture, I believe. And those girls just showed more grit and spunk in those 10 minutes of performing than any other 3 women I've ever seen outside of the prison system. And after seeing that performance, it was almost like it really touched my heart, and I felt like a part of me had died and actually gone to hell. And it was amazing.
Oh, it's a disease. It came to me in a dream. Just sort of one night I felt real sick, and I thought I had the black lung. And I really thought about, and we were rocking out quite a bit this time in the garage mostly. Thought about calling it Cholera and the Black Lung. Changed it to the Plague because I felt like the plague really symbolizes like massive death. You know what I mean? Not just like, one person get the black lung, like, it fucking sucks for them. But like, you know what I'm saying? I really wanted to do a real homage to my sister, and Cholera and the Plague was such an epic name that I really thought it fit our individual personalities. I chose to be Famine because it is a plague of epic proportions. The thought of starving to death, perhaps in a world with nothing green, it's startling
and horrifying. A lot like our music. I feel that my life is like a famine, constantly hungry and never satisfied with anything. Now I know for Locust, that was her favorite childhood plague, locusts.
Actually, Locust was my favorite plague as a child. I was really into reading the Bible.
Lucy and I never really got along too much.
I've got a whole lot of projects going on, like I love art, that's what I do, and performance art or like functional, like wall decorations.
That was really actually the basis of our falling out. I didn't like calling her Locust. It didn't roll off the tongue very well, and I'm the kind of person that just everything I say has to really echo into my ears and just vibrate all around. And Lucy, to me, had more of that emotive quality that I just didn't find in Locust, and she had a hard time dealing with that because she was so into her own stage presence.
I also do performance art at the Cosmic Bowling Alley every Tuesday, so you can check me out there. It's at 7 o'clock.
We met Locust, Lucy, that is Lucy Blackwater. We met her at Laser Blaze, actually.
I was having a really great night. We went to Laser Blaze.
I really like Laser Blaze, so we usually do what like I'm feeling like doing. So, and it was Laser Blaze at that time, and yeah, so we went out there, and there was this girl who was on the other team.
I thought they were very skilled with the laser, and I thought I made friends with them there.
She was really making things real difficult for our team and kind of pissing me off, really. So we kind of followed her and wanted to see where she was going so we could kick her ass. And she went to some coffee shop, and I was, had a thing of scalding hot coffee I was gonna pour on her, but then she started playing tambourine.
I'm playing 9 Inch Nails on the tambourine, and it's just the best I've ever played it.
Well, she's a hell of a tambourine player. I mean, if you could have heard her at that open mic playing Closer by 9 Inch Nails, oh, it was breathtaking, let me tell you.
Famine. She and I have had our differences as well, mostly because of my involvement with cholera, which was a sordid affair at almost every turn.
I mean, it's just, I see something in life, and I want to take that and just capture it into music, like Count Drac, for instance, I mean, Count Drac's like one of those figures that's just like everyone knows him, but he's like, he's so dark and like sexy, you know what I mean?
These sisters, as many people know, have been vying for Vlad's affections. That would be Mr. Dracula. A lot of people just call him Drac.
I mean, I know there's been some gossip in the magazines about, Count Dracula.
I think it's just the fame that keeps them together, and each of the sisters is hoping to garner more attention from Drac than the other. The music is beautiful, and music that is not beautiful is not goth. It has to have a classical feel. It has to bring out the true sense of what is to be goth.
The first time that I saw them, I was in the front row, and I got some spittle on my face from cholera during one of her most passionate performances, and that made me feel like I had to be part of her. And from that point on, every move that I made for the band was something that I was doing to try and get into her. And she just never felt the same way about me. We never really shared that much other than blood once, which she didn't like. And she never had any interest in me, mostly I think because of Count Drac.
These sisters, they embrace too much of the fame that they're given because of their talents, and they try to overreach, and then they try to overreach with this Dracula character, and him, I've got a lot to say about him. He lives up his reputation. He eats it up.
Well, I always saw him as, and I really don't mean this as a pun, but kind of a bloodsucker.
Well, the music is quite interesting. There's a lot of death masks and death references that I find fascinating and can be linked all the way back to classic Minoan culture and the snake goddess cult. It might have to do with the fear of death. It could also be a deep urging for necrophilia. There's just such a wide aspect of what can be covered by the death and the death topic.
I thought it was the best show since the one in Houston.
Dude, I don't know about this show, but that chick with the purple hair,
Cholera.
she's hot. And the best part, I couldn't keep my eyes off that chick with the, you know, the on the piano.
What?
That's a spicy meatball.
I've been studying the goth culture for about 15 years now. I look at the different aspects and the hierarchy that I see within the band and the fan base. It's quite amazing if you look at it truly.
There's a lot of tone deafness in the group that's just not that good. But nobody should be thinking about signing them. Nobody at all. Not till I talk to them.
Climbing up the walls. He's climbing up the by God walls, and he's wearing his satin frills and his bloodstained bibs. Gents, you'll have to wait your turn, 'cause he's got dibs. Count Drag, he's a demon in the sack. Count Drag, midnight snack attack. Count Drag, oh, he's got me on my back. Count Drag, dreaming of that body, even if it is undead. You were tapping out your window, but you see a bat instead. And then he starts transforming, ain't no hiding from his ass. You ain't Count Track about to do a mash. She's a demon in the sack. Midnight snack attack. He's got me on my back.
Baby, when you rise out of that coffin and I see your blood, red lips, there's only one thing that I can do.
Well, there were a lot of girls back then.
Darling,
I don't really remember the name.
6 feet under you.
Genius knows no bounds, really.
I play the guitar, I don't get the solos. About that, no, but Genocide is playing July 14th. It's gonna be downtown. It's gonna be crazy good. I got some flyers.
Well, the song Counteract by Cholera and The Plague, it's really, well, the song Counteract with The Plague, it's really like the Cholera and The Plague, it's really counteract, it's really about me, right? Right? Thank you.
Susan, what did you think of the show? What?
We're still filming, so you want to just try it again? Could have been better. Last time we had an electric chair on stage. My other band's better. Okay. Yeah, you should say that. Please don't judge me, guys.
I make a point at Rigor Mortis Industries to really, we want it to be personal.
I would join in the real high ones.
I agree for 1,000 years.
It is about us and our doing with each other and accepting the darkness in ourselves.
Bye.